I'm going to take a shave in a little while and do a few things locally. But I wanted to talk about the fact that actually today, December 15th, I arrived in the Philippines 10 years ago on December 12th. Well, I arrived here on the night of the 11th. I slept all day of the 12th and the 13th. The 15th, I was my first full day in the Philippines exploring. I lived in Cebu, and I've learned a lot about the Philippines in these 10 years, and it's different. You know, maybe some of the people that have come from the Midwest have, with a minimal amount of experience in things in general, that when you come from the Midwest, say you come from a place like Ohio, there's not much interaction with the ocean. They don't have big, giant cities like where I grew up in New York City. They don't have 9,000 pizzerias in the capital of Ohio like we have in New York. It just things like that. Coming from New York City, then moving to the Florida Keys, living in some of the better and higher echelons of society. Where I grew up in New York, it was what we called an upper middle class neighborhood, where the median house values were affordable to middle class working people. No poor people lived in my neighborhood in Howard Beach per se. Now the next neighborhood over, where my dad was born and grew up, Hamilton Beach, was very much similar to the Philippines. It was a much less economically productive area, and it was only the other side of a canal. So I watched both aspects of reality, where my dad's family grew up in Hamilton Beach, and each person, the houses were less fancy, the income was less, the poverty level was higher. Many of the people in that area were on welfare. Not my dad's family, but many of the people in the Hamilton Beach area. And then even the people that grew up on my dad's block. So I'm familiar with both aspects of life. The poverty from where my dad was born in Hamilton Beach, grew up, and then my friends that lived there throughout childhood, because that's where I grew up. And then we moved to Howard Beach, which was just across the canal, and it was an upper middle class neighborhood as opposed to a low income neighborhood. So I've seen both. And then I lived in the Florida Keys in Key Largo, where the average price of a house, you had to be what they called rich at the time to buy a house. You needed to put down, the houses were, when I first bought my house, was only $238,000, but that was a working class neighborhood. It became a wealthy, upscale neighborhood in the 13 years I lived there. So I've seen every aspect of reality. But the Philippines, by far, is a less economic advantage, or is much more disadvantaged economically than any place I ever lived. So it took a while to get used to living where people struggle from day to day. It took a while to get used to that. It took a while to get used to having 12 dogs roaming around on the street free and barking at all hours of the day and night at anyone walking down the road. To have 12 dogs serenading them, I never saw anything like that before. For instance, this morning, a man just walked down the block, and I would say somewhere between 9 dogs that I could see and several dogs barking in the background from behind the fences were barking for a solid 2 or 3 minutes. In where I grew up, that didn't happen. We had what is called a dog catcher and a dog catcher truck, ASPCA. So whenever there was a call for a stray dog in the neighborhood, the truck would just come right to your house and ask you where the dog is, where was it last seen, and they would go out and get the dog. And if the dog had a collar, they would call up the owner. And if it didn't have a collar, they'd put it in a home and give it a week. They'd clean it up, give it its shots, put it in a center where you could adopt the pet foundation. And then after a few weeks, if it got overcrowded, they'd put the dog to sleep. Here, I went to a big party a few nights back on the 8th of December. I have videos of that, but there may have been 12 dogs, strays, all strays, begging for food at the party. And everybody was just feeding the stray dogs. Now, that in and of itself is not problematic, except that the children that were at the party were hugging the stray dogs. The stray dogs had, some of the dogs' bodies were completely devoid of hair, no hair at all on the dog, and it was just mange, what we call a mangy dog, and the children were hugging the dogs as if they were French poodles that just came out of the pedicure, the pet shop, something. Where it was the strangest thing. So I had mentioned to the people feeding the dogs, they were the people in my videos, but the videos won't ever probably go. They're only for Facebook, for friends. And I said, that how many dogs do you people allow to have? Oh, and they were in sync. They were all in agreement that these dogs are protected. No one can do anything about the stray dogs. There's something called animal rights in the Philippines. And that was not my question. My question was, how many dogs is too many dogs? And there was no answer. And so they have a different mindset here. To see 12 dogs, some with mange and some with bleeding lesions on their entire body, and the children hugging the dogs. The children play with the dogs. Where I grew up in America, that would not be understandable or acceptable. But here, they have a different mindset. The people at the party, for instance, they were all completely enamored, except for myself. I don't drink. But not one argument. No one ever raised their voice. No one got into any kind of a disagreement or argument. I've never seen 12 people for 5 hours fall down drunk and never to hear any loud words between two people. And I've been coming to the same party for 9 years now, 3 or 4 parties a year. I've never seen, not even one time, a disagreement. I've seen people fall down. I've seen people fall down and sleep for 3, 4, 5 hours where they fell down, and everybody walks around them because they're just sleeping it off. But I've never seen anybody have a disagreement or not. Just one time, just once, and that guy was really drunk too. Just so I guess I did see it one time, and but that's one time in 9 years. But he was not a regular at the party. He was someone that came to the party that doesn't go to the party every year. And in fact, that was probably the first time I saw him hang out with those people. So I did see one argument one time, but it wasn't from a regular friend of the family. So, and that was taken care of rather quickly. But let's see what we have here. Boston Dave. You're going to change the subject on me. Okay, we could change the subject. Boston Dave says the Frisbee Hobgoblin Waffle Flipper Hunchback Mantis Goose is cooked. Thoughts, Michael Fazio. Yeah, we were gonna get to the Frisbee Hobgoblin Hunchback Mantis Goose is cooked. Thoughts, Michael Fazio. We were gonna get to that in a moment, but we'll go there now. So he's been posting. All right, so my thoughts on that are twofold. Boston Dave, being that you want to change the subject, it's okay to change the subject because I was done talking about the dogs and the party. But we had a great time at that party last week. I don't know how many, 12 bottles to a case, and I don't know how many cases of rum disappeared that day, but quite a few, at least 3, and 6 or 8 cases of Pepsi and Sprite. It was a good party. It was a good party. The annual birthday party. So, getting to Barry Jordan, I kind of wanted to help Barry, and I still do, and I have. I've made several videos in the last 3 years. If you follow Barry or me, I have said to Barry as a friend, even though he doesn't understand what a friend is, but in friendship, I have said to Barry that you're making a mistake, Dave, Boston Dave, and to anybody else that's watching. I don't even know how many people are watching. 18 people. Okay, so thanks for stopping by. Hey, if you guys are watching, how about pushing that thumbs up button? The illustrious thumbs up button. I don't normally ask people to do that, but last week we had 102 people watching, and I got, I don't know how that happened, but I got almost 6,000 views on a video in 5 hours. So maybe that was from YouTube's algorithms talking about, I don't know what I was talking about. I don't know what I'm going to talk about until I get on the show, like now. So Boston Dave wants my thoughts about Barry Jordan. I think Barry Jordan's goose is cooked. I would agree with Boston Dave's comment. And I got to tell you that I don't know why he's doing what he's doing with all the videos that you mentioned, other than the fact that his intention is to excite his adversary. And excite his adversary is what he's doing. Now, if Barry has a plan, and if what Barry says that he's going to be free on the 18th, that might be, I don't see how it could be possible, but if it is possible, Barry will have pulled off the greatest upset in YouTube history. Not for me, because I don't care one way or the other what happens to Barry Jordan. But it would be psychologically, it would be a phenomenal thing that Barry did to go free somehow. But I don't see it happening. But I'm just saying, he's acting as if that's possible. I have a belief that that's not possible. I don't believe that he's going to get out on the 18th, like he said. I don't believe that even if he had backing, and I don't know who would back him at this time, except for Big E. Big E said that he would help Barry get a ticket. Now, that's the only person I know that has liquid cash to help Barry leave the country. Other people have contacted me over the course of the last few weeks, asking me why I even want Barry, or give Barry advice not to do the videos. There are people that go to Barry's channel and egg him on as if they're his friends, and then they send me comments saying, why do you try to help Barry? And my answer is, Barry's not smart enough to help himself. That's my answer. He's not. His education doesn't allow him to see or hear what I've explained to him multiple times. And I'm the only person explaining it to him multiple times besides his adversary. And that is the fact that if his adversary copied the videos, and if the videos were copied properly of Barry defaming or defrauding someone on the YouTube community, in the YouTube community, if those videos were copied properly, they can be used in a court of law. Now, I've said this in every show. There is a way to record the videos. I have it written down, but I'm not going to post it because I'm not a lawyer. But I will discuss what needs to be done in order to have a video recorded properly. So if his adversary, and I'll do that momentarily, if his adversary copied the videos down properly, and I think he did, then that's not argument in a court of law. That's fact. That's a lawful evidence in a case to be brought against Barry Lee Jordan. I think he copied the videos correctly. I think he copied the URLs correctly. I think he copied what he had to copy correctly. Now, there are points of parts or points of the video that have to be copied in an orderly fashion in order to present them in a court of law. So his adversary says he has those videos recorded properly with all the 5 or 6 points of interest of the videos to present them lawfully. And you have to understand, his adversary says in several videos that in order to get a date in court to present his evidence, the prosecutor for his adversary had to say, this man has enough evidence to present this to the judge in order for the judge to make a determination whether or not to move forward with the case. So the 5 counts of cyber libel are not factual until the judge makes it factual. But if the judge makes it factual, that's because the evidence was recorded properly. Now, let me read the comments, and then I'll go over how to factually record a video. And because I have 100 of them recorded properly. Okay, so let me go through the comments here. Yeah. Okay, so Mike Dowdy is looking forward to the Popeye Christmas special. Not that Mike Dowdy has an alarm set with bells and whistles for the Popeye Christmas special. Not that Mike Dowdy isn't looking forward to the Christmas special 2024. That one put me in a state of tears when I read that. Because Mike Dowdy might have had a prescient moment talking about Popeye's Christmas special starring the great Barry Jordan, 2024. And I don't think that was a Scrivener's error. 2024 was what Mike meant, not 2023. So Mike Dowdy is looking into the head of the future, of the knowledge of the Popeye Christmas Special 2024 for the great Barry Jordan. Thanks for stopping by, Mike Dowdy. Let's see. Bantai Broiler, plenty of tandoori. Yeah, there was so much tandoori at this party that, Mike, you know what? Mike Dowdy, give me a moment. I'll get back to your comment. Bantai Broiler, I will send you, I have a couple of 1-minute videos. I won't post them on YouTube because the amount of alcohol, there were people that were not able to talk that thought they were having conversations with not just me, but with other people. And they were, and they were talking to each other. And I was dumbfounded. I didn't know if they were speaking English or Visaya or a combination of both, but I didn't understand a word of it. I was laughing so hard. So yeah, that was funny. But so let's get back over here. Chris Mark plays. Chris Mark plays. Bro is planning his war strategy. One of them is planning a war strategy. One of them does have, I don't believe, has a strategy. B wants to go back to where he growed up. And you spell growed, G-R-O-A-D, growed up. Says the Bantai Brawler. That's true. He wants to go back to where he growed up. I heard him, you know, Barry, I know you're going to listen to this video. I'm not even going to. Somebody asked me if they should help you yesterday. And I said, you can if you want. I mean, it's not up to me to help Barry or not help Barry. But you have said so many things that didn't happen. So many things that were just not true. I mean, you make up these stories. You have destroyed. You know, last week I did that video for you where 50% of any donations that I would receive, 50% after taxes would go to Barry Jordan, and I would have sent those to you, Gcash. You know how much, you know how many donations I got for you? Zero. Nothing. No one gave me even $1 in Super Chat for you. You have, to my knowledge, Barry Jordan hasn't received any donations. And I don't know that anybody that's collecting donations for you will ever get another donation. You did this to yourself. I was serious about giving you half the donations. I will never do that again. I will never even try to do it again. Not that you care, because I know you don't care. You never cared, and you're never going to care, because you're just like me when it comes to not caring. But you have burnt every bridge of every person that's ever tried to help you. And when somebody asks me in private, do you think I should help Barry? I tell them what I'm about to tell you. I'm going to open up my notes, and I'm going to tell them that if Barry has the following, and you want to give a lawyer money, and you want to take the long shot, because this is the long game now. This is no longer going to be this case is going to go on, in my opinion, 2 to 5 years, maybe, if you're lucky. And you're going to be incarcerated for that long, unless something happens for you to be removed from the country. Somehow you get a pardon, Bureau of Immigration decides that this is not worth it, and they send you home. But you will be incarcerated for 2 to 5 years. That's a fact. Because I have been now in court 19 times. The court has given us a date, and 14 times the date was kept. So 5 times that the court gave us a date, for one reason or another, the court canceled the date. Not the judge, not the lawyers from either side, but the judge, the court system. For instance, we were supposed to have a court date, I think it was October 19th. And that may have been a Monday, but the Friday before the court date at 3 o'clock, I got a notice saying that Monday's court hearing is canceled. So it was canceled one business day before it was scheduled to take place, because of some sort of meeting for the court system, judges, prosecutor's office. Something came up. But that's happened 5 times. And then out of those 14 times, twice we went to court with the lawyers, and 2 times the judge himself did not show up for family issues. The judge had family issues, emergency issues that happened that day, and the case was canceled. But still, we paid the lawyer for that day. So out of the 14 times that we were supposed to appear in court, 12 times we did out of 19. So that's 7 from 19. That leaves 12. That's 1/3 of all court dates were canceled for one reason or another. You're going to go through the same thing. This is standard procedure here in the Philippines. You're going to go through the exact same thing. Barry, I'm talking to Barry now. And I'm talking to the person that contacted me that wants to help Barry. So if the lawyer goes to the court and the judge cancels the courtroom hearing that day, you still pay the lawyer for the day in court. So Barry, this plan that you had of not appearing in court. That's what you said. You're not going to appear in court. I don't believe that. I don't believe you were the one who chose not to appear in court. But be that as it may, this plan that you have to not appear pushed your next court hearing back 3 months, maybe 4, maybe 2. But that's 2 more months that you spend in detention. Now, maybe you like it there. I don't know. But, I mean, you did. I don't know why you do what you do. So the persons that asked me if they think, why they're asking me, I don't know. But if they asked me if I think they should help you, I'm going to give them the information now of what you're going to need in order to help them decide whether or not they're going to help you. There's 2 people. So, and then if there's a third person, for instance, now we know Popeye's probably not going to help you. Popeye 1, he's probably not going to be there for you, but he is going to make you famous. That's like Billy the Kid said, I'll make you famous in that Western movie. So Popeye is going to put you in the history books come next week. And now I'm going to read the rest of the comments and go to my notes, and I'll tell you people what you need to look for and what Barry needs to go to court to legally put a case against his adversary. But with the caveat that what I'm going to tell you about Barry being able to put a case against his adversary has nothing at all to do with the case that's against Barry Jordan now, the cyber libel. The cyber libel, that's if the judge accepts it and if he sets a court date for it, this is something that Barry has to defend against. He has to defend against the cyber libel. If Barry wants to put a case, that's one case. That's Barry's defense against the cyber libel if it goes through. If Barry wants to put a case against his adversary, he has to hire another lawyer or the same lawyer to defend him against the cyber libel. That's one case, $1,000. And then $1,000 to formulate a case against his adversary. That's $2,000. This is for anybody that wants to help him. And then each time he goes to court, there'll be a court fee for his lawyer to attend the hearing. And that could be let's just say $150 each time. Okay? So one case would be to defend against 5 cases of cyber libel. One case would be to put a case against his adversary, 2 cases. They would be combined in the courtroom to both be heard at the same time. So he would have to pay his lawyer $1,000 for each case to accept the case, and then X amount of dollars to represent him in court each time he goes to court. So let's just say that the lawyer is going to defend against the cyber libel and put cyber libel against his adversary, and each case is $75 each. Could be more, could be less. That means that Barry has to come up with $150 each time he goes to court. That's a lot of money for somebody to put out And you have to understand that if his adversary gets sick, and he said that that's possible, got to read between the lines. He can get sick. The judge can get sick. If the court hearing is set for January 15th and his adversary gets sick the morning of the 15th and has to cancel the case, then you have to apply for another hearing. And that could be March or April. So that's, you missed December's hearing. Maybe there's one in January. Maybe your adversary will get sick in January, and then the next hearing will be in March. That means you're going to spend another 4 months in detention. That's how it works, whether you want to believe it or not. I've tried to explain this to you, but now I'm not explaining this to Barry Jordan. I'm explaining it to his friends that want to help him, what they're going to have to shell out. $2,000 US, one to defend and one to prosecute. One to defend against his adversary and one to prosecute his adversary. That's $2,000. And then understand that there's going to be fees to show up at the court of $150 for the next 2 or 3 years. Okay, let's read the comments. Rumor has it, says Mike Dowdy, the window peeper peeked through the wrong window and caught his girlfriend with another man. Don't know just now, rumors now, says Mike Dowdy. Well, you got a lot of rumors going on here today. Mazda 9. Barry forgot the first rule of being a tourist. Maintain a low profile, and at the first hint of trouble, settle it as soon as possible. Do not get law enforcement involved. Pay, pay, pay. That's good advice. That's good advice, Mazda 9. It's hard to do that, but that's what really should be done. I agree. Boston Dave says, Frisbee, the hobgoblin waffle flipper hunchback mantis, shouldn't have laughed at you being attacked from behind. Oh, no, that was a big mistake, Boston Dave. That's why I have not really... I won't prompt anybody against Barry, but I would never tell anybody, yeah, go for it. You get him. Because Barry has no respect for anybody. And the people who, if you look at his record, Boston Dave, the people he has become friends with, he has betrayed as well. Every one of them. So he has no respect or honor when it comes to the people that have tried to help him. I mean, there is nobody that I know of that has helped Barry where there has been any honor back on Barry's behalf. I mean, that's true. Okay, he has no sense of honor. It's only what comes out of his mouth at that moment. So when he made fun of me, and I asked him not to do it, and he did it again, and then he did it again and again and again. Theoretically, he should have looked at the situation objectively and said, you know, what happened wasn't right. But he's not bright enough. He's not smart enough to figure this out on his own. His mental skills are at a minimum. I mean, I don't know what his IQ is, but there's no way he's mentally competent to come up with cognitive reasoning of what would, any kind of rational thinking or belief system. He doesn't have that. Look at what he's doing to himself in lockup. He's been accused of drinking alcohol. And then he gets on in last night's stream and for 35 minutes attacks his adversary. Okay, that's what he wants to do. And then he realizes somewhere in his mind, he snaps, and then he did all but beg his adversary for forgiveness without the actual begging part. If you drop the charges, I promise I'll never talk about you again. But for 35 minutes, he just did talk about his adversary. Well, there's no rationale to that mindset. If it happened on different days, and there was remorse, and there was an apology, and it was truly apologetic, and it was truly remorseful, none of that occurred. He just threatened and to continue on his quest to defame and he did it. It's in the video. And then he said, if you drop the charges, I'll promise that I'll never say anything again about. That's not rational thought. That's not even a continuous train of thought. That is a psychic break somewhere in between the negative statements, and then somebody got in touch with him and said, have you lost your mind? Stop it. And then he backed down a little bit, but not to any degree. So would I believe him? I don't believe he does what he does, let alone believe what he does, what he says he's going to do, because what he says he's going to do is not what he's going to do. He only is what he said he's going to do. And what he says and what he does is two different things, by the way, if you get my point. Flying Circus. Now, he's in Barry's, he's right up there in that brown tunnel, that Barry. So, Fast, DNC. Hey, buddy. I should put you on my mailing list. I made a few videos this week. Freebird. He's back. He's back as my only member of my channel. Thanks, Freebird. Not able to communicate on my main phone, so only message. I will have to leave, but hello everyone from Freebird. Hey, thanks for stopping by, Freebird. I haven't been keeping up too much on your cats. The last one I saw was the babies are growing. That's the last, and that's about 2 weeks ago. Thank you for stopping by, Freebird. DNC, there is no humor, no honor among thieves. Yeah, that's true. So they're eating their own. All of Barry's friends are eating their own. All of them. Okay, so anybody that was ever friends with Barry, okay, I can give you a for instance. I could give you, anybody that's ever been friends with Barry has now distanced themselves from Barry. Pretty much. And he did that to himself. So where DNC says there's no honor among thieves, I don't know that all of them are thieves, but there is no honor amongst them. Barry threw the only person that helped him under the bus several times. That's factual. Okay? Now, he even admitted that he did it just yesterday. You got to look at it from my point of view. Okay, we can look at it from your point of view, but doesn't change the fact that you've thrown everybody under the bus. And the other aspect of his friends are, where are his friends on the live stream while he's attacking his adversary? I once, 2 weeks ago, mentioned maybe that's not a good idea, and his response was, I don't pay no attention to that old man, he's crazy. So I'm giving you advice not to attack your adversary, because he clearly pointed out if you stop, he won't press additional charges. So my advice to you was to stop, and your response was, I don't pay no attention to that old man, he's crazy. And what happened? 24 hours later, your adversary said he was going to continue to press forward, press onward with 5 more charges, or more charges. And that's what he did. So I may be crazy. In real life, I may talk about the flat earth. I may talk about we never landed on the moon. But I believe that the earth is flat. I believe wholeheartedly we never landed on the moon. I believe wholeheartedly that where these people keep telling you that when the spaceship goes up and somehow gravity stops, I believe that is the biggest story, the greatest story ever told. There is no way a rational human being can come to an understanding that if you go up far enough, this fictional thing that we call gravity stops. And once you go past the thermosphere, gravity somehow miraculously stops and we free float in space. And then the gravity of the moon has the gravity to pull the oceans in and out twice a day, but not bodies of fresh water. And the sun has the gravity to keep the moon and the earth in an orbit around the sun at 1,000,000 miles an hour, but not enough gravity to change the orbit of the moon around the earth. That's going like this and the earth is going like that. It's all baloney and cheese. But somehow the sun keeps everything going around together, but doesn't pull it in. And the moon can pull the oceans, but not affect the lakes in any way, shape, or form. And that you people that believe this stuff, you are the people that are insane to believe the theory of evolution. The theory of evolution. It is a theory. Even Charles Darwin could never make the connection between apes and men, because there would have to be millions of transitional bones between apes and humans, and we've never even found one transitional set of bones. You people are crazy. Barry calls me crazy. What I believe in may be crazy to Barry, but when Barry is told point blank, stop talking about me, and I won't press further charges, and what does Barry do? He doubles down on talking about his adversary. And what does he have now? He may have another case. And the case I talked to before, the case to defend against the original 5 cyber libel charges, and the case to put against his adversary, that's 2 cases, and if his adversary gets a second case filed against Barry Jordan, then Barry's going to have to pay a lawyer or his lawyer to defend against 2 cases and to press charges against his adversary for a 3rd case. So that would be $3,000 and $225 each time he goes to court over the next 2 to 5 years. So who's crazy? Not me. Let's go back to the comments, and then I still have to read how it is that you have to record a video. Let's see what we got here. We have 38 watching and 3 thumbs up. Can you guys punch that thumbs up? John Blaze is in the house. John Blaze is in the house. Thanks for stopping by. Boston Dave. Michael Fazio, you're right. Frisbee the Hobgoblin, Waffle Flipper, Hunchback Mantis just uses people. He has had bad karma for laughing at you being attacked from behind. And I don't push that issue because at some point you have to understand that Barry's... All right, so I have Barry at a disadvantage. I am about, I don't know, if I took a guess at Barry's IQ, and I'm being serious, I don't think Barry has an IQ of 65, okay? And 75 is the short bus material. I really don't believe he has an IQ of 65. Now, I don't think he has an education. I don't think he understands the dilemma he's in, and he certainly doesn't listen to advice. So I have him at a disadvantage. So I'm not going to knock him down because he didn't have the benefit of a good education, but I do have the benefit of a higher education. Not college, but I have a college regents diploma, which meant I got at least an 80 in everything I ever needed to get an 80 in for my college test scores. And I have 11 federal and state licenses, and I always had my own business. Barry has none of those accolades. So I can't compare Barry with myself, but I have given Barry good advice. He just didn't take it. So, but making fun of somebody that gets attacked from behind, now if he's not smart enough to figure out that that's just not right, normal or legal, and he thinks it's funny, well, I could turn around and think that what's going to happen to him is funny. But I feel bad because I have compassion and empathy for him. But it doesn't change the fact that, in my opinion, if Barry doesn't get out of this country ASAP, he's going to be in jail for anywhere from 2 years for his court hearings and dates, minimum, to another 4 or 5 years of charges and jail time put on him for what he did, even though I don't agree with the cyber libel laws. I've told you why they exist. They don't exist indiscriminately hither and thou. They exist for a very specific reason. Cyber libel laws were not made for the average man, but they cover the average man. The cyber libel laws were made by politicians, lawyers, judges, mayors, prosecutors, and what the Philippines version of Congress and state senators, so that 2 senators or two judges that are vying for a political office. The cyber libel law says that neither one of those two people can badmouth their adversary. In this case, two judges vying to be the mayor of Bahal. One judge can't say, hey, that judge did this, this, and this. And the other judge can't say, well, you know what? When that judge was 18, he did this, this, and this. Neither one of those two judges that want to be mayor can say anything negative about the other judge, even if the other judge was arrested for something, anything, it doesn't matter, still can't say it. So during the course of the political campaign, neither judge can badmouth the other judge. Because if they do, the judge that gets badmouthed can bring the other judge up on charges. So in other words, let's say one judge was convicted of driving while intoxicated when he was 17 years old. The other judge can't bring that up in a political campaign. He can have charges pressed against him, even though the person was arrested and convicted of DUI. He can't mention it. It's so they can't badmouth each other. So therefore, it protects lawyers, judges, politicians, and congressmen from badmouthing one another. Then they have to run on their attributes to their constituents. That's the law. So the fact that Barry Jordan keeps saying we're two foreigners and that the law doesn't apply to you, it does. And I can't make him understand that, but he will understand it. Because he's about, if he keeps saying Big E is involved and Big E's going to buy him a ticket, if Big E can somehow get him out, and I don't like Big E at all. I mean, there's no love there at all. Not one bit. But that's Barry's only chance to get out of the Philippines. You need somebody with money, somebody that can hire a lawyer, and somebody that can work the system in Barry's favor. If it's not going to be Big E, I don't know who it would be. It's not going to be another lawyer. And no one's going to hire a lawyer to get Barry out of this mess that he put himself in. It ain't going to happen. So if it's, and the only reason why I say Big E is because he has liquid cash. I'll make that perfectly clear. He could do it. He could get involved. He might have the contacts to do it. I don't know that he would. But he's the only person in the Philippines community that has been friendly with Barry that may still be friendly enough with Barry to help him out. But it's going to require a lot more than $1,000 for the lawyer. It's going to require contacts and favors, perhaps. I don't know what that would involve. But nobody's just going to hire a lawyer for $1,000 and Barry's walking out of the courtroom. I don't see that happening. Let me go back to the comments. John Blaze, 27 in the chat, need more thumbs up. No one's going to give me a thumbs up because they're all trolls, John. Thanks for thinking about that. They're all trolls, and I don't really care. Flying Circus, the Blazers. Come on, Blazers. Do it for the brass bracelet. Yeah, that guy Douglas Williams, he's a piece of work, that guy. Every comment on every video, On every show, he talks about a brass bracelet. What a very shallow life he lives at a minimum. Metal channel support. Hello, good morning. Hello, neutral channel support. I drove a Blazer in the Army, says DNC. I'm afraid to go there with that one. You pounded a Blazer, you drove a Blazer, you ran a Blazer. I ran a Blazer in the Army. Let's go back up to the comments. Okay, it jumped down quite a bit. Scott Del Fuego. 4400 block of West Monroe is a good place to avoid. Easy to get stung by a lead bumblebee. That's Scott's talking about Chicago. Nala Tuda, Bahasa, Indonesia. Boy, they're coming in from all over Malaysia. Welcome, Nada Tuba. Zombie Mike D. Mike Dowdy. Flying circus is still in my head. Mike, happy Christmas to you from Miko. Now, Miko, you take Miko, for example. Please. Miko has been trolling Barry Jordan since day one, and everybody else. But he's calmed himself down quite a bit, so he's allowed on a few of the pages. But Miko still goes there and trolls Barry and pretends to be Barry's friend. I don't know why, but Miko, if you were his friend, when he starts degrading his adversary, maybe, hey, Barry, knock that off. Maybe that would be something you might want to say. But then again, if Nico did that, if he did that, then Nico would get blocked. So if Nico is damned if he does and damned if he doesn't. So he really he doesn't accept any kind of negative criticism, Barry doesn't. That's why I don't go on his channel and negatively criticize him. But Barry is going to find out, like I said, unless somebody helps him out really fast, like before Christmas, before New Year's, before the holidays. He's not going to get out of the Philippines. If it doesn't happen right away during a state of confusion in the holiday, a mix-up somehow, whatever. Miko says, okay, so we're down to this comment here. Let's go over here. Miko says, I'll put it on the comments. Miko says, the best advice you gave Barry to take a dinghy over to Vietnam weeks before he got arrested, but didn't take it on board. But he didn't take it on board. That was, let me tell you something, Miko, okay? Let me tell you something. Look in my face, okay? When I told Barry, find out how to get a jet ski, I don't care how you get it. Find out how to get a jet ski, learn a little bit of navigation, buy some gas tanks, and figure out how to point that thing at Vietnam with your passport in hand. I was not kidding about that. I was serious. I was very serious. Because I saw this coming. I saw this coming, and I'll tell you why. Because his adversary knows how to file a case. And Barry made every mistake possible in order to give his adversary what he needs to file a case. And I know the law. I just explained to you what the cyber libel laws are and why they were put in place. And that they do, unfortunately, count for foreigners. Now, there's a statute of limitations on some things, and I'm going to still give you exactly how and what is needed to use a video, a complaint, a slander, a libelous statement, and or a defamatory video. I'm going to give you the points that have to be in context of your lawyer's complaint, the complaint against your adversary. I'm going to give that to you as soon as I get through these comments. DNC says, Miko, you have a good memory to remember but I was not kidding about that. Baltimore, Scott Del Fuego. Baltimore. Okay. I don't know where that is. Baltimore, ? Scott Del Fuego. Never newer watchers, be aware. Michael has a mind that functions on its own level. Sometimes he gets quite behind in the chat as new topics and ideas can easily happen. Okay, I'll go through the comments. That's Scott's way of saying catch up with the comments. Boston Dave, Michael Fazio, I don't believe a word. Frisbee the Hobgoblin, Waffle Flipper, Hunchback Mantis. He laughed at you being attacked from behind. The Mantis carries a knife because he has stuffed so many people. Well, he always said that he had a weapon. So that's another nail in his coffin, by the way, that he said that if it was recorded. Mike Dowdy, there was a man shot down Sunday night across from the world famous minibar Barry hung out at. Killed over a bottle of gin. Yes, the Filipinos, they take their battles very seriously. Steve, plenty of lead poisoning in Chicago. Welcome, Steve 25901, who has his finger on the pulse of YouTube. YM. Do I see a thumbs up from YM on the thumbs up button? Hello, YM. Boston Daves. Frisbee the Waffle Hobgoblin, Waffle Flipper, Hunchback Manta shouldn't have laughed at you being attacked from behind. No wonder he carries a knife. That's true. Boston Dave is trying to push that point, no pun intended. And he should not have laughed at me. But that's his low IQ shining through. Most are just anti-creep. That's true, says Flying Circus. Not a lot of people love Frisbee the Hobgoblin, Waffle Flipper, Hunchback Mantis. They just don't like his adversary. Barry is in the habit of screwing Barry. He's kind of stupid, says DNC. That's true. JEY Camera, hello. How about a thumbs up? If I don't see that thumbs up button change, and I don't think I'll be able to answer any of your questions. Kinda, says Flying Circus. Very, very derogatory. Kind of? You facetious one you are. DNC. Well, I don't want to sound absolute. LOL. I'm just very anti-Cinderfella. Says Flying Circus. Barry. Says Scott Del Fuego. So in other words, no matter how you spell it, it's Barry gets buried in the end. Barry buried in the end. Alexa Cisnostros. Hello, Alexa. I love that name, Alexa. How about a thumbs up, Alexa? Scott Del Fuego says, to be fair. Oh boy. Scott Del Fuego says, to be fair, Alabama offered to never speak of Francis again if he drops the case. Francis said repeatedly he just wanted him to leave him alone so he would get his wish. Okay, so we have to go back to my face now. The truth is, I need water. Done. The truth is that Barry's adversary, a long time ago, said, if you stop talking about me, I won't press charges. He did say that. I heard him say it. I don't know that I believed him at the time, but he prolonged putting the charges against Barry for a very long time. Because I don't know that he wanted to go through all that work. But he said those words to Barry Lee Jordan. He said, if you stop talking about me, I will consider not pressing charges. Barry, you had that option. Now, he may have gone forward with the charges anyway. You don't know that because you never gave him the opportunity to not press charges. You just pressed forward. And I'm not going to repeat what you said, but he has what you said when you said it and how you said it, where you said it, in the way that you said it. He recorded what you said when you said it, how you said it, and where you said it, with your face in the video, telling him, but I'm not going to repeat it because I'm not going to give anybody any ammunition against you or him, but when he gave you the opportunity, this is directly to Barry Jordan, he gave you that opportunity. Stop talking about me and maybe I won't press charges. You should have took him up on that offer. You should have done that. That's true. And I mean that. And I said it at the same time you did. I said, look, he's giving you an option. But you don't listen. You just don't listen. I'm going to, no matter what you do, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to. And then you did, and then he did, and now you're done. And he's not done with you. So he did what he did when you did what you did, because you did what you did because you wanted to do what you did when you did it to who you did it, knowing that what you did is not what he wanted you to do, and then he gave you the option to not do what you did, and you did it anyway. Okay? You have to remember that the next time you go to court. You can quote me on that. Let's go back over to the case file, back to the chat, and then I'm going to give you how to file a case. My thumbs up button is not moving, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to refresh this page, and if I don't see that thumbs up button move when I refresh the page, I'm not going to answer anybody's comment that I don't know who they are directly.
You are in luck today.
Mix, Mike, I will answer.
Our factory has launched
Scott
the latest 3D glasses that can see near and far. Its appearance is much better.
Up. That's no good. All right. Up. Ah, 23 thumbs up. Boy, it refreshed to 23 thumbs up. That was my mistake. Thanks, everybody. Whoa, that was 23. Okay, it was the page. DNC, I got to get a pot. Wow, let's go back over here. Mike Hunt, my friend, Mike Hunt. Mike Hunt, I heard you were in Bohol and you didn't come message me. I would have loved to have gone out to the Lobach River cruise, but I'm sure you went out there with your friends. I hope you had a good time. That is one great trip. So his adversary did give him the option to drop talking about him, and he didn't take that. I tested at 78, so I drive the bus, says Flying Circus. Boston Dave. Frisbee, hobgoblin, waffle flipper, hunchback mantis made a big mistake laughing. Laughing at you, bad karma. Boy, Dave, don't ever forget that, too, because I never did. And let me tell you something, Dave. This is a direct message to Boston Dave. Yesterday, I had the option to talk, to explain to somebody in writing how a case should be filed and needed to be filed, but it would take about 45 minutes to write it down. And I was going to go through that trouble. And you know what went through my mind, Boston Dave? What went through my mind is that if I did that, I would be helping somebody help Barry. And Barry would never help anybody help me. So I didn't send out that information in writing. So Boston Dave, if I ever forget that the hobgoblin waffle flipper mantis ever betrayed me and made fun when I was attacked from behind, I want Boston Dave to remind me every chance he gets. Thank you, Boston Dave. Matt T. Matt T. Matt T. Matty, 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 Matty. Greetings, Mike. Barry is falling victim of his own bravado. Matt T. Matt T is relatively new to the genre. He wasn't sure where he stood just 3 weeks ago. He was new to all of this. He was asking questions, what was going on. And now I see Matt T here. Welcome. And now I also see Matt T on Barry's adversary's page as a proponent of Barry's adversary, because Matt T has made up his own mind as to right and wrong in his opinion. So thanks for stopping by. Let's read Matt T's commentary there. Matt T was on the fence, so to speak, a few weeks ago, not knowing who was who, where was what, but he's on board now with, I think, the winning team. Greetings, Mike. Barry is falling victim of his own bravado and still acting like the class clown at age 48. I agree with you that he has the brain of a Parmesan, but in the eyes, he's paid his price. In my eyes, he's paid his price. So Matt believes that 8 months in detention, not jail, and he's not a criminal because he hasn't been convicted of crime, is enough time served. That's Matt's opinion. I don't think. All right, so I want to look at you when I tell you this. Matt T basically said that Barry is not smart enough. You ever hear, I don't like quoting the Bible, but you ever hear that phrase, Lord, forgive him, for he knows not what he does? That's Barry. That's the, Lord, forgive him, for he knows not what he does. That's Barry. Because that he's not smart enough to know what he's done. But in a court of law, that's not going to cut the mustard. And he's about ready to go into the court system. He's in the court system now, but he's about ready to see how slow the court system in the Philippines works. So Matt T thinks that Barry has paid his price. I don't know. I personally, I've never given that. This is, if I think about it now, how long should Barry be in jail? He should be in jail, lockup, detention, long enough for him to apologize to me for laughing that I was attacked from behind, rolling on the floor laughing. He should be in lockup that long. After that, as far as him apologizing to his adversary, he says he's never going to do that. But he thinks it's funny that I was attacked from behind, and I don't think it's funny that he's in lockup. But I think he deserves to be there simply because he laughed at me being attacked from behind without any notice or provocation. So, because of his ignorance, if he stayed in jail for another year and Mike Dowdy got his 2024 Christmas special out of Popeye and Barry Jordan, that would be okay for me. Now, at that point, I would say let him out sometime after next Christmas. But this Christmas, he needs to be where he is so he can think about what he's done. Because what he said he was going to do is what he did. And what he did was what he said he was going to do. And what he said he was going to do may not be the right thing to do, but he said he was going to do it and he did it. Therefore, what he did, he did. And what he said he was going to do, he did. And what he did, he needs to pay for. You can quote me on that. Jail, Christmas, detention, Christmas, 2 thumbs up. Next Christmas, 2 thumbs up. Let him out on the 26th of December, 2024. That will show him a little bit of humility. Because he can't go around disrespecting everybody, and he still hasn't learned how to not disrespect the people that are trying to help him. Scott Del Fuego. Then he will take Barry's girl for his harem. I must have flying circuses. The price for help might be too high. So I was thinking about that too. Maybe Barry can make an offering. Not a burnt offering. In addition to the Big E's harem. And Big E does have a harem. We have proven that beyond any recognizable doubt. So what Flying Circus is talking about is Barry has something that Big E wants. Like, I want this bottle of water. Barry has something that Big E wants because the big ego doesn't have a limitation on satiated egos. So the Big E has made it perfectly clear in video, and I have that video, Big E, where the Big E offered at the detention center. Let's go back in history a little bit so we can back up what Flying Circus is talking about. Because this is the show for Christmas for Barry Jordan. But he's not getting any of this super chat that I see hitting the ranks, hitting down in the flanks. The Big E offered to buy Barry Jordan a ticket, a plane ticket, if he could get his ducks in order. But at the same time, on the same day, at the same place, while the Big E was on the outside of the bars, unlocked doors, and Barry was on the inside of the bars, The Biggie said, would you mind if I made your future wife part of my harem? And to show you the disrespect that Barry had for his future wife, the next question was, would you mind if she made love to another woman? And Barry's response was, as long as it's not her cousin, whatever that meant. So he didn't get offended that Biggie wanted Barry's future wife in the harem. He didn't get offended by that. He got upset that his future wife might want to have a relationship with her cousin, a female cousin. The man has he doesn't have any, what we call it couth. He has no couth. He doesn't use that word in the proper syntax of a sentence, but he has no morals. If offering his future wife or allowing somebody to ask for his future wife's participation in a harem, whether the harem is fictional or real, and the harem is a real thing, but it could have been said in jest, but it wasn't. It was said half in jest, whole in heart. He allowed Big E to ask for his future wife's participation in Big E's harem. Barry should have took his future wife, inside the perimeter of the bars and closed the door and told Big E to leave. But Big E has no morals whatsoever. Yads, in case you're listening, Yads or Isty Travels, he has no morals whatsoever. And the fact that you people, Yads, don't believe me, didn't believe me, and never believed me, and took his side is the reason that I will never help any of you people get funding for any kind of Filipino venue. So you people have chosen your side. I've chosen my side. And my side, in my opinion, is the right side. And your side, in your opinion, is the right side because you get money from a guy who is totally lacking when it comes to morals. I didn't want to get involved with that, but I don't mind. So a man asks another man if he can make love to the other man's future wife in return for a plane ticket back to America, and thank the gods, I have mobile data. Major blackout here. The fan, the computer. All right, so let's go back up. So we clear on that, Yads, Popeye, Big E, that you allowed Big E to lie about me, offer, and lie about a harem, and lie about whether or not there ever was a harem, and lie about all that stuff. And then when I proved it to you, you still took his side. So you guys are over there on that side of the fence, and my guys are over here, and my guys... And you guys know that what you believe in is false, but you are getting to feed the children, and and those are sides that you have taken. Let's go back over here. Back over here. Well, we have the super chat. We got to get to that. Thumbs up from me. Matt T says, thank you, Matt T. Name a car for an edit. Edit. Okay, name a car for an edit. I would name my favorite car that I ever had was a 1971 GTX 440 6-pack with a 3-speed slapstick 9-inch torque converter with 411 Dana rear and Dana axle. And that was my favorite car. It was white and black checkered cloth interior. And what a car. What a car. It had, anyway, that would be the car. I don't know what an edit is. Zionist. Sneeko Live. Zionist. That's the name of my channel. Zionist ZooTube. But that's been the name of my channel since 2012 or 13. Because when Google bought YouTube, it turned from a great structure of fun and games on the internet to a much controlled Zionist, like established media. That's why I changed. That's why the name is Zionist ZooTube. Maybe Andrew Tate will. Maybe Andrew Tate will take interest and try to help Barry get himself home. I doubt it. I like Andrew Tate, though. With Barry's luck and wits as DNC, that jet ski would be aimed at North Korea. Mike Dowdy says, cameraman, oh, you're back. Cameraman con distant. Cameraman con DiCaprio's official. Hola, 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 hola. Thank you for stopping by, cameraman. Salamat. Let's go over here. So you are cameraman. What are you from? Peru? Cameraman? I think you were from either Peru or Colombia. Am I right about that? I remember you from last week. Leave a comment. I'd like to know where you're from. I like that name. It's easy to remember. Mike Dowdy says, please don't help Barry until after Christmas. Mike Dowdy not only wants Barry in the Who Scout for Christmas, he needs Barry in the Who Scout for Christmas. Let you guys read the comments. I gotta get a pot. I'm gonna get a pot. Please don't hold on a minute. I got right here. I got the pot right here, baby. I got a pot. I'm ready to bang a pot. I'm gonna bang a pot a lot, 'cause I see orange in the super chart. In the super chart. In the super chart, I see super. That's the first time. Let me tell you something about super chart. It's about as rare as hen's teeth. If Red Horse is out there, I just took your multivitamin and your magnesium, 2,000 milligrams of magnesium. My diet, in case anybody's wondering, is, man, I'm actually maintaining the low weight that I achieved of 100 kilos and 99 kilos and a 45-inch waist, 44 and a half, 45, without any more dieting. I'm eating like 4 ounces of meat 2 or 3 times a day. My diet is working out well. Okay, so let's get down here. Let's bang a pot. I haven't banged a pot a very long time. It's been a long time. So let's go over here. We'll get back up to Mike Dowdy says, please don't help Barry until after Christmas. I have my calendar all set and cleared for Popeye's Christmas extravaganza and big blowout. I do too, man. I'm looking forward to Popeye's. You got to wonder what fantastical things Popeye's going to come up with when the time comes. Mr. Bill. Oh, my God, Mr. Bill. You know that I saw last night at 4 o'clock this morning, I was up and about, and I watched the video that you sent me on Facebook about how many number twos are in different offices and different positions of power in the world, and how many number twos receive 22% of all Nobel Prizes, and yet they're only 0.2% of the population. 22% of Nobel Prizes, they are something like 30% of Congress. I watched that video. It's 2 minutes and 14 seconds. That guy has a lot of information. Thanks for sending that video to me. Mr. Bill will do a show on the number two. The number twos, they control the news. The number twos, they are 0.2% of the world's population, yet they get 22% of all monetizations. They are the owners of Google too. The number twos and yous don't stand a chance. The number twos, with them there's no romance. When I dated a number two, it was only for something that rhymes with blue. When I became friends with a number two, it was only because they wanted something from me or you. It's hard to be friends with a number two. I have to admit, I think of them just like I think of floating things. And by the way, do you know why sometimes your number twos float and sometimes they sink to the bottom of the moat? I'll tell you why, so you know this year you can share it with your friends with some Christmas cheer. Log sinks. It's because there's not enough fat in your stinks. If you cut a log and it floats to the top, it's because there's plenty of fat to make it float to the top. And if you didn't know why the number twos float and sink, it's because you never thought about something like that before today. But here's the truth, ladies and gentlemen. If you have a really low-fat diet and you cut a log and it sinks, it's because there's not enough fat in the log to make the log float. And that's what makes a number two float. So they don't all float, adversary. Some logs sink, Mr. Adversary. So that's the truth. I swear to God, that's the truth. I was watching a show on digestive systems and digestive tracts, and And then I was about ready to shut it off, and the guy goes, now, do you know why sometimes your logs float and sometimes your logs sink? And I'm going to myself, whoa, 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 whoa. We gotta zoom right in on this. I honed in on that guy like this. And I'm listening, and the guy explains that if you have a high-fat diet, like you eat marbleized steak, which is a medium-fat diet, your log could be semi-buoyant. And he explained it like that, where it wants to float, but eventually it sinks. That's from like a marbleized steak. But if you eat pork belly, and that's all fat, your log is going to float. It's as simple as that. It's something that's true. I have to tell you, if your log floats, it's because it's high in fat. If your log sinks, it's a low fat log. Then I'm not kidding you. You can look it up. Look it up, but don't believe me. Look it up. That's why they don't all float. Logs don't all float, baby. You can share that with your Christmas cheer. Let's go over here. And we have Mr. Bill to thank for that super chat. And DNC. We have to bang a pot for DNC. He sent me a super chat. This month was low, but now we are flowing with super chat. And I gave you information to share at that. Remember, first you heard it from me when you are talking chair under the tree. Just before you kiss her under the mistletoe, share those thoughts from Mike Fazio. DNC says, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and we'll go Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, and Happy Kwanzaa too. Happy Hanukkah from me to you. Happy Kwanzaa from me to you. Merry Christmas. If you don't like it, remember this. Not all of them float, even if you take up on them. So, see, that's a medium fat diet. When one is floating and then you tinkle on it and it sinks, that's how you know it's a medium fat diet. That's true. That's what the guy said in the video. And he was some doctor. I don't know what his name was, but his name was Dr. something. And he explained why the number twos float. Number twos float like a boat if they're full of fat. Share those pieces of information this Christmas under the tree, under the mistletoe, and call it holiday glee. I have some holiday glee for you. Do you know why a number two floats like a boat? If you don't, you're about to find out, my friend. Number twos float because of a high fat content. Thank you, DNC. Thank you, Mr. Bill. Salamat. Number twos, they float or they don't. They float like a boat or they don't. Number twos that are high in fat, they float like a boat. Low in fat, they sink like a moat. Salamat. Let's go. Thank you very much, DNC and Mr. Bill. Thank you. Let's go back up to the comments. Miko, I knew you weren't kidding. It was solid advice you gave Barry. I was not kidding. I got to tell you. You guys, Barry would have, okay, there were other ways to do it. I mean, Barry could have, when I told Barry to get out of the country, I meant it sincerely. And I told John Blaze to tell Barry, because Barry doesn't believe anything that I say, but it was my idea. John will confirm. Barry would be free and clear right now, out of the country. Okay, he would have been blacklisted and never been able to come back. That's true, but he wouldn't be in jail. That's true too. So what would you rather be? Blacklisted from the Philippines as if this is the end-all, be-all place to be on this flat earth? There are lots of places to go to. I'm here 10 years. Knowing what I know now, would I have come to the Philippines? No. The answer is no. I would not have. I would have gone to, I would have lived in the Bahamas, in the Eleuthera, upper Eleuthera chain, somewhere near, not far from Venezuela. And I would have lived on one of the islands in the Dutch West Indies. That's what I would have done. Now, I had the opportunity to move there in the 90s. Actually, yeah, 1999, I could have moved there. But it wasn't where I wanted to live. I went there. I experienced a couple of the islands in the upper Eleuthera chain. And I didn't really want to live in such a remote place, part of the world. Not the people there were wonderful, but I didn't want to live there. It was very remote. To get anywhere, to do anything, was a day's trip. A whole day. The island that I was going to live on was Cat Island. They didn't have a proper hospital or dental care. You had to go to the Grand Bahamas. It was a day's trip by boat to go anywhere. That's not where I wanted to live. But now, if I had a choice of where to go, what island, I would have chose a different place than the Philippines. Simply because it would have been closer to America. This place is very far from America. When you move to the Philippines, you move away from your family, friends, children, grandchildren, whatever you have. The chances of you seeing them again, they're very possible, but not unless you're wealthy. You're only going to get to see them at best once a year, maybe once every 2 or 3 years. So if I had a choice, would I move here? No, I would not. But I didn't know that then, and they spoke English here. And where the island that I was on at that time, actually it's the island that Sean Connery lives on in the Grand Bahamas, Cat Island. He lives there. I saw him in the airport, at the little airport they have there. And it's a beautiful place. And the person I lived with was probably one of the richest people in the Bahamas. But I would have worked for him, had a job. He spoke perfect English. His father was the Crips, C-R-I-P-P-S, Crips of the Crips banking magnate in England. It would have been a good deal, but I wasn't ready to move from America in 1999. I was buying a house in the Florida Keys. That's where I wanted to live. So had I not bought a house in the Florida Keys, I would have lived on Cat Island. And now I moved to the Philippines, and after being here 10 years and 4 days, if I had a choice, I would not move here. So Barry leaving the Philippines with no option to come back would have been a good thing for him, because no matter, at the time, he had already obfuscated enough money to escape the Philippines. I don't know why he didn't do it. I don't know why he didn't do it. And I meant it as serious as I could have meant it, Mix and anybody else that's listening. He should have figured out a way, with or without it being copacetic, he should have figured out a way to get out of the Philippines. And looking back now, it's an easy choice, is what he should have did. We're looking back now, my choice to live here was the right choice at the time. But looking back 10 years, would I have moved here if I knew what I knew now about the Philippines and what I knew then about the Cat Island? I probably would have chose Cat Island 10 years ago. Well, actually, it would have been 23 years ago. But 23 years ago, I wasn't ready to move from America. And 10 years ago, I didn't want to move to Cat Island. But if I look back, I would have, if I could have spent the last 10 years somewhere, it would have been Cat Island. Simply for one reason and one reason only. It's closer to America. This place is very far. It's on the other side of the flat earth and the flat oceans. And there's a big flat ocean between us and America. And it takes 32 hours to get there, and it costs a phenomenal amount of money to get there, $1,500 minimum, and 2 days of your time and 2 weeks of your time for jet lag in both directions, 1 week in each direction. It's a big move to the Philippines. So Barry disappearing out of the Philippines a year ago, he would have thanked me for that now, but he doesn't thank anybody for anything. Therefore, he doesn't have the knowledge. He doesn't have the understanding. He doesn't have what it takes to be grateful for anything that anybody's ever done for him. He's just not that smart. He does not understand when people do stuff for him. Look at everything that people have given Barry. Look at all the money. And I have to make a correction to Barry's adversary. P.A. Trucker gave Miss Dimples 25,000 pesos via Barry Jordan. Barry did not keep 14,000. He kept 11,000 and gave Dimples 14,000. That is a mistake on your behalf. You got those numbers transversed, but it doesn't make a difference. Either way, Barry should not have taken even 1 penny. That money was designated for Miss Dimples. So to show you how he can just disrespect everybody across the board, and is what he does. He kept money that was not his. He knew it wasn't his. He knew it was supposed to go to Miss Dimples. He used himself as an intermediary, and then he took 40% of the money without permission. So he has no respect for his good friend P.A. Trucker whatsoever. He just doesn't have that mental ability to have respect for anybody. He's been granted 1,000 wishes from the genie in the bottle, and now the genie has left, stage left. DNC, thank you again, DNC. Barry. Let's go over here. Barry. Mike Dowdy, back to Mike Dowdy. Please don't help Barry until after Christmas. I have my calendar set for Popeye's Christmas extravaganza, big blowout. Popeye 1 says flying circus. Popeye 1 foot tall, and his squids are swimming to help Barry. I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think anybody's swimming. I don't think anybody's swimming on Barry's side anymore. I gotta be honest. I gotta be honest. After seeing what's transpired with the Barry Jordan, I don't think anybody's gonna come to Barry's aid anymore. I won't. And I'm done with that. He hasn't made me believe that he's a new man. Cameraman con the desktop cameraman con desktop ka os or has. Braz. He added more words. Brazil manito. Quilan lana macasa aparo. Well, thank you for that. Salamat gratis. I understand gratis means thank you. Baby Ruger. Oof. Now that's a name I can relate to, a Baby Ruger. When I hear the word Baby Ruger, I think of a 10-shot clip. Baby Ruger. Thank you for stopping by, Baby Ruger. Denmark, Alde Parocho. Hello, Denmark. Alde Parocho, hello. Hello, Denmark, Alde Parocho. Salamat. Mike Hunt says, Merry Christmas, Michael Thomas Fazio. Merry Christmas, Mike Hunt. Mike Hunt is a name that will go down in infamy as the one name that nobody, but I mean nobody, can say 3 times fast. Michael Hunt, Michael Hunt, Michael Hunt, Michael Hunt is easy. But try saying Mike Hunt, Mike Hunt, Mike Hunt, Mike Hunt, Mike Hunt, H-U-N-T, Mike Hunt, 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 Mike Hunt. That's not so easy, is it, baby? Hey, Mike, thank you for stopping by. Thanks for the Christmas wishes. Flying Circus DNC has a $20 super chat right there. Thank DNC. Salamat. Thank you very much, DNC. In fact, what I'm going to do, DNC, I'm going to turn the camera around to me, and you're going to have mail what I've been up to the last week or so. I'm not going to post it on YouTube. There's nothing that goes against the rules, but okay, so here you're gonna have mail in 60 seconds. Let's see, that would be your name starts with that letter there. You now have mail, DNC. Thank you. And I'll get that mail out to you, Mr. Bill, as well. I didn't not send the mail out to you. You're on my mailing list to send that mail. But I didn't put that mail together until about, it was right around, 9 o'clock. Excuse me, it was right around 9 minutes or so before the live stream was going to start. So you could see it. In fact, you could see it who I sent it to and when I sent it out. So I just didn't have time to forward it to the 5 or 6 people that would normally get my private videos. So you and Mr. Bill, Scott got his, and the other fella, a few other people. So let's get back over to the thing. DNC, thank you. I could have been a Rastafarian. I got that bandana thing. You know how old this bandana is? This bandana is from 2005. It's 20 years old, this silly bandana. Dreadlocks. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Bohe Balnerga. Bohe Rocio Diaz. Rocio Diaz is in the house, baby. Rocio Diaz. Let's see, where is that comment at? Rocio Diaz. Dripyan quadrada naquanos de cara alaposa satin. Wow, that was a lot of words. I didn't even pronounce any of them right. I apologize. Thank you for stopping by. Z Tattoo 96. That was easy. Z Tattoo 96. Where's my comments? Epic bandana. That's an old bandana, Mr. Bill. We're getting there. Biggie stumps up. Okay, Tattoo 96. Okay, I'm back over to the comments here. Hello, who says who Tattoo 96. Flying Circus. I'm supposed to meet Barry at a secret Christmas party in Boston. You could, yeah, you go there. You know, and you want to hear the weird part about Barry. Okay, so when Barry said, for all of us, this is Barry, listen carefully to me because you don't listen to anything. This is the kind of garbage that you do to people. This is why nobody has recently given you any Gcash or Super Chat. This is, Barry, remember all the money people used to send you? Well, let me tell you why they don't do that anymore. You've destroyed everyone's ability to believe anything that comes out of your mouth. Okay, period. It doesn't matter what you say. Okay, you asked people to meet you at the Bareilly courthouse, knowing you weren't going to be there. And you know that I know that you know that I know that you were not going to be there. And yet you requested people to get dressed, wake up, go to the courthouse, knowing that you were not going to be there. You have shown everyone no respect at all. Now, I know that you know that I know that you knew you were not going to be at the courthouse. And I know that you were lying when you said you were going to be at the courthouse, because you said you were never going to go to the courthouse. And I believed that. But what I believed was that you said you were never going to the courthouse, even though what I believed was a lie. I believed that you weren't going to the courthouse. So therefore, I knew that you saying you were going to the courthouse was a lie. So I knew that you were lying and you were not going to go to the courthouse. And yet the night before, late at night, you were telling people to meet you at the courthouse. You show everybody no respect at all. So people get up, maybe they get on a boat, maybe they don't get on a boat, maybe they get on a bus, maybe they take a cab, maybe they drive there, maybe they get on a hobble car, but you knew you weren't going to be there and you were still inviting people to the courthouse. to show what a piece of dirt looks like, that's what you did. That's why nobody will ever believe you, and I don't think you will ever get anybody on your side again to give you money. You asked last week, where is CW? How many thousands did CW give you for lawyers? For your teeth? For your bills? And you didn't do any of that? You're just not believable. So you're never going to get anybody to believe you again. Nobody's ever going to give you any Super Chat again. You've been asking for Super Chat and Gcash for weeks now, and I don't see a dime coming at you. And then just to disrespect everybody again. You did it again. You did it again 3 nights ago, 4 nights ago. Everybody meet me in Bareilly. And you knew you weren't going. Now, I know that you know that I know why you weren't going. Now I know why you know that I know that you weren't going. I know that now. But I knew you weren't going because you said you weren't going, and I believed you said you weren't going. And why are you telling people to go if you knew you weren't going to go one way or the other? And that you're never going to go? Why would you put people through? Because you don't have any respect at all for anybody that's ever helped you, tried to help you, or ever might help you. Think about the fact that maybe somebody did go there and they just didn't make themselves known to meet you at the courthouse. So you made somebody get up, get dressed, take a bath, take a shower, take a cab, take a hobble, take a boat ride to Bareilly, and then you knew you were not going to show up. You don't show anybody. You are so screwed, Barry Jordan. You are so screwed. You are screwed, dude. You're not only screwed, but you screwed yourself. That's who screwed you. Nobody else screwed you. Unbelievable. Still, even begging for money and then lying to people to meet you at the courthouse. You just don't show anybody any respect. You're an amazing person. Hey, you know what I discovered about the Philippines? I put lemon and anisette in my water, like 2 calamanses, and I put anisette, not anisette, anise. I'll show it to you. And I put it in my water. It's like it's a spice. It's like anisette. It's like licorice. And I put like 5 cloves in my water. I'll show you what it looks like, and then I'll tell you the price of it. And then I'm going to talk about what you need if you want to file a case against somebody. The 6 or 7 highlights that you're going to need to have to prove that somebody said something slanderous or libelous against you. If you don't have the elements of libel and slander, you can't file a case. You can try, and you can pay a lawyer to look at it, but you won't get the case, will not be accepted at all. They won't even entertain the thought. So let me show you what I do. And I'll show you how much it costs to do this. So this is called anise, Aniece. So you buy it in these little bags like this. I'm all flush with anise now, baby. I'm flush. So it comes in these little bags with an orange tag on it. And this is what it says on the orange tag. And I don't even know what it says. Put that one over to the side. Anise. A-N-I-S-E. Anise. Now you take this. It's I have one open over here. I'll show it to you. Now I'm going to show you 3 things that you could do with this. Okay? I need to put my glasses on. Hold on a minute. So it comes, it's called star anise. Star. And it's called star anise because it comes in these little star-like pictures. Okay, now you can take this, you could do a bunch of stuff with that. You could take a piece of it like that and put it underneath your lip like a chew, and it gives you a sweet flavor in your mouth. You can chew it, and it tastes a little bit like licorice. Or you can put it in your water. You can put it in your bottled water. You can just dump a handful of it in the bottle of water. Now this is rinsing water. This is not drinking water, but you can get a bottle of water like this, and then you could put about 6 cloves. About 6 of these pieces in a 2-gallon bottle and let it set. Could stay there for a week or a month. It will not go bad, the water. It acts as an antibacterial also. I've had anise in water outside in a jug. In this bottle here, it was outside for a week with anise in it, and it's still drinkable. So it's not something that goes bad. So you can put it in water. You can put it under your lip. You can chew it for like a flavor, like a licorice. Or my favorite is I use brown sugar with molasses. It's the brown sugar that they sell in the Philippines. What I do, and I'll show you what I'm going to do, is I take the anise like this, right? I take this amount, and I take it all, and I put it into the sugar. I put it in the sugar. Just in the sugar, just like that. Now I'm going to buy a grinder. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? With the super chat that I just got, I'm going to buy a coffee bean grinder. And I'm going to grind this up into powder. And then when I mix it in with the sugar, then I take it. I just do this. I put the cap on it, and I shake it like that. Now, at some point, I already have anise in there, but I did that for your benefit. At some point, it's going to go into the sugar. Okay? So I put a sweet spice into a brown sugar that already has the flavor of molasses. But now the flavor is enhanced to another level altogether, because the aromatic flavor of the anise goes out of the anise into the sugar, because the sugar is partially moist because it's molasses sugar. So this sugar is no longer, it's delicious in and of itself, but now it's that much more flavorful. And yesterday I looked up on Lazada. I have it up here on the screen. Well, I don't have it on the screen anymore, but it'll come right back up if I go here. Lazada. Okay, so let's go to my Lazada page. And then, okay, you see the Lazada page there? The coffee bean counter, the bean grinder. I'll put coffee bean grinder in. It was 399 pesos. So I will put down coffee bean, COFFEE, coffee bean grinder. And the reason I'm showing this to you is because I wanted one, and I had ordered 2 things from Lazada. I had ordered 2 things from Lazada. Hold on a minute. Where is my Lazada order? Oh boy, Lazada Christmas special. Okay. Okay. Here it is, right here. Okay, so I have like 3 orders in Lazada now. I'm not gonna give you my account. Okay, so let's go here. Coffee, COFFEE, bean grinder, coffee bean grinder, portable. There was one for 399 pesos, and that's like $8, and that's all I wanted. Let's look that up. Why won't it go there? Okay, there it goes. Okay, so there's handheld one. That's not what I want. But that's like 213 pesos. There's a little electric one. Electric coffee bean grinder. Here's one. They're cheap enough. They're this one is $2.92. And you put the coffee beans in there. You could put anise. You could put cocoa beans in there. You could put any kind of beans you want. So they are under $8. You could buy one. And I had one that I picked out yesterday for $3. This is the one with the glass bottom. So I think I'll order that as soon as we're done. I don't want to be putting my information on the screen. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grind up the anise, grind it up and put the grinded up dust in there. But even still, the way it is now, by the time I get this sugar with the anise pieces into the coffee, you can just eat the piece of anise. Like if it goes on your spoon and you put the anise and a spoonful of sugar in your coffee, you can just eat the anise. You could chew it like a breath mint, or you can put it to the side, or you could throw it away. You could do whatever you want with it, but it gives it a great flavor. So this anise, let me tell you more about anise. Okay, so we have star anise, you can buy these little packages like this for about 22 cents. I think they were 11 pesos for this package when I shipped out 30 packs or so to Scott a year and a half ago. I don't know what they are now because at the time I bought 50 packages or thereabouts. But if you get hooked on anise, and you will, because I eat anise every day, in every glass of water, in every cup of coffee, every day, every day, every day, every day, every day. And still, I put anise in my soups. I put anise on in my porks, in my soups that I make with my pork bones. I put it in everything. In the wet market, if you don't want to buy it in these little bags, they sell it in bulk for 1,200 pesos per kilo. Now, I don't know how much a kilo, how many of these make up a kilo. This is 25 grams. So a kilo is 2.2 pounds. So 2 pounds would be 32 ounces. And so it'd be like 36 times 11 would be only 420 pesos. And that was a year and a half ago's price. So I guess the price went up because I got quoted a price. Today's Friday. I got quoted a price Tuesday morning, I think it was, for 620 pesos for a kilo, about $12. So it doubled in price. Well, it almost doubled in price, apparently. So you can buy a kilo of it. You can buy it by the kilo. That's the point. So now I have in my chat, in my comments, in my title, the prices in the Philippines have gone up quite a bit. I mean, we're not talking about a small amount. We're talking about a large amount. The prices have gone up. The prices of food in the Philippines in the last year only, not 2 years or 3 years, 30%. And 50% of all the food prices that went up 30% or more did so in the last 6 months. Okay, so let me get back to the comments. Fart Freddy says, Barry J out in 6 months, 5 months, if Big E stumps up. I don't know about that. I think that there's only one person in the Philippines that can get Barry out, and that would be Big E. I think that he's the only possible resource. And that's asking a lot at this point. I don't know that he could still do it. I think he could have done it 6 months ago and didn't do it. But now I think he might be able to do it. But I think it would be a lot harder now than it ever was before. Mike Dowdy says, Barry, let's try to find this out. Where are my comments? Mike Fardar Freddy says, Mike, do you remember The fake moon landing with Buzz Aldrin. Yes, I do. I actually remember where I was sitting when I watched it. With me and Eddie Schweikert, not related to the astronaut, Tom Schweikert, his father, Matthew Nebriga, and Tommy Schweikert, Eddie and Tommy Schweikert, and Tom Schweikert, the father. We were outside playing stickball on 98th Street and in front of Eddie's house. And Tom Schweikert came outside and made us come in to the house to watch the whole entire process of the moon landing. And that was July 20th, 1969. I was 14. I was almost 15. I don't believe they went there now, but I remember that day, and I remember where I was and what I was doing. Yes, I do remember that. Barry will never learn, says Mike Dowdy, his lesson. Barry will never learn his lesson. He will always believe he's the victim. The victim, well, where have we heard that before? It's like a drug dealer blaming the snitch who got him instead of owning up to his own mistakes. That's right. And that is, poof. Man, there's some psychological stuff going on in Mike Dowdy's head. There's no doubt that Barry will never, ever, ever blame himself for the position he's in. He had every, man, how many people does it take to tell you to not do? Seriously speaking, Mike, I mean, how many people does it really take? Everybody. Do you not believe that Big E, when Big E went to visit Barry, do you not believe that Big E told him don't do certain things? I believe that Big E told them not to do certain things. I believe Big E gave him good advice. But he didn't listen. But forget about Big E. He was told by the guy who could put charges against him to stop. Now, in no way, shape, or form was it provable that he would stop if he didn't and not put charges on him. There's no way to know because Barry just never stopped. Barry doubled down. Mike Dowdy, maybe you have a reason why Barry doubled down. Barry said, I'm not going to stop. Oh, I'm never going to stop. Ain't never going to happen. That ain't never going to happen. So, Mike, maybe you have a psychological answer for that. But he was given the option to not go through this process, and he just declined. He declined and doubled down. That was stupid on his behalf. Really was stupid. But that's what we've come to the conclusion. Basically, sometimes you have to... Wait. We got to go back over here. Flying circuses here. Basically, sometimes you have to do what it takes to live and fight another day, says Flying Circus. Coming from Flying Circus, them's are good words. Because we know that Flying Circus is he's in gear. Scott Del Fuego, it is likely that the Smithsonian would like to display the pink tiger bandana of the original Rabbi Chewbacca. Imagine that. Those people don't want to have anything to do with me. And they know I was right years ago. I've been saying so much of the stuff that's coming out now, that we've been visited by alien civilizations for billions with a B of years, not millions, and that somehow in the background of everything else that's going on, everything that is being orchestrated on a civilization level is being orchestrated by something that pretends to be God, pretends to be God-like, pretends to be the government that you believe in. And in behind it all, it's an energy or a group of people that could care less about your well-being. That includes church, religion, and the United States government. And now, and I've said it thousands and thousands and thousands of times, it's why my channel is so censored, that the APAC has such a control on Congress that they run our government. I lost all of my 20,000 subscribers on my other channel. They took the notifications. They just stopped notifying 20,000 subscribers because of what I said about AIPAC and the Jewish lobby. And I've said it thousands of times, that they are in control of the United States and the Congress and the Senate and the presidency now, for sure. And who was right? I was right. I was 100% right. No matter what you want to think about me being a Zionist, anti-Judaic, anti-Semitic, none of that's true. I know that the Jewish lobby, AIPAC, controls Congress. And I knew and always said that they control the Senate and the Congress. And now it's an open fact now. This is not, it's not a hidden memorandum in some dark alley. It's factual. They control the United States Congress and the war machine and the presidency. They control it 100% lock, stock. The whole entire flat earth. Stop saying globe. The whole entire flat earth is against what's going on with the military-industrial complex. And they're still moving forward. Everybody, we have to talk about this. We have to have a conversation about what's going on. And they have a conversation and nothing happens. Because nothing's ever going to happen. We have to talk about changing Mr. Netanyahu's philosophy. And then tomorrow they have another meeting and they talk about Mr. Netanyahu. You people think that it's going to get better. I've always told you it was going to get worse, which is one of the reasons I moved to the Philippines. Now, I could have moved, like I said, to Cat Island and the Upper Eleuthera chain, and I should have. Well, looking back, I should have, but I'm here now. But I mean, compared to the rest of the world, living here is not such a bad place to live. We can still walk on the beach. We can still go swimming. We can still walk around at night. We can still walk around and videotape stuff. Nobody yells at you for videotape. The other night I was at that big party that I go to every year in December. I go to several, but everybody knows that I make video. No one cared that I made video, and they said, what are you going to do with the video? I said, just give me your Facebook and I'll send it to you on Facebook. No more publishing my friends from the local area on YouTube. I can if I want. they said it's okay, but I said, no, I'll just send it to you on Facebook. But we don't get yelled at if we're videotaping at the Capitol building. We don't get yelled at if we're videotaping in the mall. You're not allowed to videotape food prices in the mall, but in the wet market, yes. So getting back to the prices in the Philippines, they have skyrocketed. Mr. Bill, Merry Christmas, Michael. Thank you, Mr. Bill. Didi Supa, Painsta or Israel? I'm not sure what Palestina or Israel, but I would have to, if I have a choice, it would not be Israel. Mr. Bill. Uh-oh. What happened? I'm going to have to refresh the page. Hold on. I lost. If anybody didn't hit the thumbs up, try to hit the thumbs up. I got to refresh the page. I lost the chat. So I'm going to talk about food prices, and then I'm going to talk about what you need if you want to file a case against somebody in the Philippines. What you need if you want to file a case against somebody in the Philippines. LaRue Segrest is in the house. Hey, LaRue. Thank you very much. I will stop by the next time I see what's going on your page and send you a little Christmas cheer. And that would be compliments of DNC and or Mr. Bill, as I always try to help you out. Flying Circus. Sorry, son. I bumped the button. Thank you, Flying Circus. You could have been a Rastafarian. We got that down. Matt T. Barry has a live program going on now. The title is You Want a War? You Got a War, Jesus. Yeah, he's talking to his adversary, see? Dr. Yen Lo. You see, this is, look, Matt T. He's not understanding that he's not winning. He's losing. He's not understanding that. I don't know who I think he's declaring a war against his adversary. All he's going to do is get the man upset. But in a court of law, I don't think Barry stands a chance, and I'll go over why in a moment. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I have it all wrong. I hope that everybody starts donating to Barry's channel again. CW gives him another several $1,000s. PA Trucker comes in with a Christmas bonus for 25,000 pesos. Dimples sends him 25,000 too, and Scott Del Fuego and DNC and Flying Circus and Dr. Yen Lo. I hope everybody sends him 25,000 for Christmas, and I hope his family sends him a couple of 100,000 pesos, and I hope that he could pay the lawyer, to pay the judge, to pay the prosecutor like he said he was going to do, which was really stupid to say that on a live stream. And then I hope that everybody sends Barry hundreds of thousands of pesos, and that it all comes in right around Popeye's Christmas extravaganza. But I don't think, having hope and having the actual reality of it is, Barry has screwed the pooch. In my opinion. Dr. Yen Lo, did you see that link? It was about a man who works. Okay, let's hold on a minute. Did I see that link? It was about a man who holds record for liquid-only fast waters and sodas. No, I didn't see the link. Put it back up there. Somebody went well over 100 days. Barry is refusing to go to court, says Scott Del Fuego. Yeah, Go, you go, Barry. You go. You don't go, Barry. You don't go. Bananas. Sabra bibi. Sabra bibi. Sabra bibi. Bananas, baby. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to have a banana right now. I'm getting a little hunger pain. I'm going to go get me a banana. I got double bananas this week. I got double bananas and single bananas. I got 2 double bananas on one bunch. That's very rare. They're not ready yet. They'll be ready tomorrow. So I have my bananas over here. Look at these, 50 pesos per kilo. And I buy like 5 kilos and I bring 3.5 or 4 kilos to the hospital that I go to, and I give them to the doctors and the nurses as a snacker. Whenever I go past the hospital, if I can carry what I need to carry, I drop off 3 or 4 kilos of bananas at the hospital. Sometimes I go to the blood work center. Sometimes I go to the blood donor center. Sometimes I give it to the doctors that did my operation. But they were great, and they did a great job on my operation. So I give them a little snacker whenever I go to the market, and I can pick up the weight, because typically my backpack and my bag weigh about 24, 25 pounds. And then carrying another 6 pounds of bananas, that's 30 pounds. But I only have to carry it from the market to the jeepney, which is 200 feet. And then from the jeepney to the doctor's office, when I get off the jeepney, that's 200 more feet. I don't have to carry it around. LaRue. Hello, LaRue. 30 thumbs up. Thank you, LaRue. 30 thumbs up. Daniel Dan, name a car for an edit. Okay, we'll go to my second car. My second favorite car was a 2001 Mustang Cobra with a ragtop, silver ragtop, black and silver leather gut, 5-speed. Good evening to my dear friend Scott Del Fuego. Happy holidays to you and your family too, from LaRue Seagrass. Thank you, LaRue. Too much star anise can lead to neurotoxicity. Wow. I got to look that up, DMC. I'm going to look that up right now. I'm going to look it up as you wrote it down. I never heard about that. I put it in everything. I put it in water. I put it in my sugar. Well, I mean, one of those little bags lasts 1 ounce, might last 2 months. So I don't know what the... it's not like I put... Well, let's just take a look at that. Let's look that up. Side effects. Oh, Wow, we're getting back into the 1980s. Side effects. What happens if you eat too much star anise? God, man, it's getting to the point where I'm going to have to stop eating again. Gonna happen. If I eat too much star anise, nope, that never happened. Too much, 1 to 5 milliliters, can cause nausea, vomiting, seizures, pulmonary sedena, too much fluid in the lungs in humans. That's a recent article, September 2023. Wow. Well, I don't know how much that is. 1 to 5 milliliters is how many grams? 5 milliliters would be how many grams? Oh, wow. Hmm. 5 grams. Oh, okay. So that would be 5 grams. Those packages are 28 grams. So I would have to eat a quarter of one of these packages. I don't eat that much DNC, but thanks for the information. I don't eat anywhere near that much. One of these little packages. Yeah. One package like this is 25 grams. This will last me 2 or 3 months. See, I put 5 stars, 6 stars in a 2-gallon jar of water. Okay? This jar here. I'll put 5 or 6 pieces in here. There's probably 50 pieces in here. So I put 1/10 of what's in here in 2.5 gallons of water. And this lasts me 3 days, 4 days. Then when this is empty, I take the anise out of this one and put it in the next jar. So I'll use 5 or 6 pieces to 5, 6, 8 gallons of water. I don't eat it. Now, I do eat it when it's in the sugar, but I only put 5 pieces in the sugar that lasts me 2 weeks. So I'm eating 5 stars in 2 weeks. But if one goes in the coffee, I eat it. If 2 go in the coffee from the sugar, I eat both of them. But it's still not 1/4. It's still not 20% of the package. But thanks for the information. You got to eat. So I would have to eat a quarter of this package in one setting. I don't eat that much. This package will last me 2 months. One package, 2 months. So I'm good. Thank you though. So, but that's good to know for the people that do decide to have star anise. But that I guess in too much of anything would be bad. I mean, ask Barry Jordan. He's been in lockup now for 8 months. Probably not a good thing. Let's go over here. What are the bad effects of anise? What happens if you have too much anise? We did that. Oh, abnormal hormone levels with potential effects on sperm count or fertility, breathing problems from allergic reaction, too much fluid in the lungs. Woof. That stuff is... Okay, what are the bad side effects of anise? That wasn't bad enough. Vomiting and seizures. Oh my God. Yeah, we don't have those problems. Is it safe to eat whole? I do eat them whole when they're in the sugar. Star anise has the distinct flavor of licorice flavor that can enhance a variety of dishes. It is powerful bioactive compound. So that's when I said I put it in the water and it keeps the water fresh, no matter that you drink out of the bottle or not. The bottled water does not go bad. It may help treat, it may help treat several fungi, bacterial, and viral infections. That's when I said I put it in the water. See this bottle of water here? This bottle of water, I drank out of this bottle a week ago. I put it outside. It's been in the sun for 7, 8, 9 days. And when I drank it today, it's still fresh. Now, if it has anise, 2 pieces of anise just happened to go into the water by itself. If it didn't have anise in it and you drank out of this bottle and left it out in the sun for a week, the saliva would cause a bacteria to form in the water, and the water would be bad. It would go bad. But the anise has a natural antifungal inhibitor in it, and even after a week, you could drink it. After a month, I've drank water after 4 months, 5 months out in the sun with 2 pieces of anise in the bottle. It makes no difference. It has some sort of antifungal, which is what it says right here. Look, it says it right there. Has helped treat fungal, bacterial, and viral infections. While consumption of Chinese anise is typically safe, it may be contaminated with Japanese star anise. Whoa, we have to find out, is this Chinese or Japanese anise? God, that makes a difference. Let's take a look at that. Probably Chinese anise, because this is the Philippines. No way to know. It doesn't say Chinese, but everything we get here is from China, so I would imagine it's not contaminated with Japanese. But even still, even if it was, I don't consume enough of it to make a difference. Okay, anything else? Is star anise medicinal? And we're going to talk about the prices, and we're going to talk about how to file a case. Besides its use in spice culinary. Now, I use it for meat, chicken, and fish, my sugar now, and I've always used it for water. That's why I'm going to buy bean grinder. And then it will be a dust. I'll put it in as a dust. It won't be a piece. And is widely known for its antiviral effects. Okay, so now I discovered that you could put this stuff in water years ago. We're going back 6, 7 years I've been using this. But like I said, one of these packages lasts me 2 months. Because the star anise I put in my sugar, one of that jar of sugar, this jar of sugar here, God, this could last me, this little bit of sugar that's in here could last me 60 days. Here's how I eat this. I don't eat a lot of sugar. Here's how I have my sugar. 1 baby spoon like this. This is a baby spoon. One baby spoon of sugar, and then my coffee dust, you know, the coffee, the concentrated coffee, dried powdered coffee. So how many of those spoons are in this container? 50? And there's 5 and pieces, not a lot. I'm good. Thanks, DNC. How long? Now, here's a question. How long does star anise last? This star anise that's in that container that I just showed you is Scott del Fuego. How many years ago did I send you your shirts? 3 years ago? So that what's in that container is 3 years old. Let's find out what it says about that. There it is right there. Star anise can last up to 3 years, 4 years in a dry, cool pantry if stored correctly. It becomes less potent rather than spoiling, so it just loses its aromatic flavor. Once opened, its shelf life decreases to 1 year. So inside this bag here, inside this bag, and inside this container, and in the shade, it's 3 years old now, and it's still very fresh. I discovered it's antibacterial because I left out a bottle of water years ago. I left it outside, and I'm going, this has been outside here for at least a year. And I said, I wonder if I could still drink it. And I drank the water after almost a year outside, after I drank from the bottle. You try that with regular water, and you're going to open up the bottle, and it's going to have bacteria in it. But the anise killed the fungus. Anti-fungicidal, you know. This is good stuff. This is good stuff. Well, let's talk about food prices now. Go back over here. Okay, let's go back over here. What happened if you swim in full chlorine? you cannot swim. Let me explain to you from a chemical. Let me explain Cl2 to you. Cl2. Chlorine has an atomic number of Cl2. Charlie, Lima, 2. You, whoever you are, same bro. You, same bro, can walk into a supermarket and buy chlorine bleach, which is roughly 2 or 3%. maximum. That's what you're going to buy in the supermarket. You can go to a pool supply and you might be able to get Chinese chlorine crystals, Cl2, again, Cl2. You might be able to buy it at somewhere between 5 and 7% purity in the crystals. So the Clorox chlorine is 2 or 3% in the bottle. You can go to a pool supply and buy somewhere around 5 or 7% maximum. You, without a special hazmat license, chemical, specifically chlorine, you cannot buy anything stronger than 7%. If you were a caretaker for a pool, a huge swimming pool, like an Olympic pool or a commercial pool at a hotel, if you caretaked the pool, you were responsible, you would have to have a chemical engineering license to balance the pH in that pool to get that job. But you would be able to, if you had a hazmat for chlorine, you would be able to buy liquid chlorine in a glass jar. That would be 15%. And that's it. There is nothing that you, as a person, as a human being, can get more than 15%. Now, of course, there is 100% chlorine, but they don't transfer it like that in the tankers. They don't sell it. There's chlorine that's more powerful than 15%, but the most powerful chlorine that you can buy anywhere in the world, period, anybody, is 15% in the liquid form, and you have to have a special license for that. And if you swam in that, you would die instantly. Within, I don't know, 3-4 seconds, you'd be gone. You couldn't swim in chlorine Clorox. You couldn't even swim in that. Maybe you would live a minute. I don't know if you'd live that long. If you jumped into a pool of chlorine Clorox, I don't think you'd live a minute. So I don't know what your question relates to, but you can't swim in chlorine. So that 2 or 3%, if you're going to wash your clothes, that gets, for 1 gallon of chlorine, you put 25 gallons of water of 2%. I don't know what your question pertains to, but that's how chlorine works. Pure chlorine would kill you within seconds. Logan Smith. Hey, Grandpa. Abu Sayyad. Whoa, he's in the house, baby. Welcome to the machine, Abu Sayyad. I like that name. Thank you for stopping by. Hey, Grandpa. Logan Smith. Wow, we have the... Logan Smith is in the house. The Linkcloth, where are you? I'm in the Philippines. The link. I'm in the Philippines, baby. Headphone wire. Oh, yeah. Headphone wire. Yeah. Whatever that means. Thanks for stopping by. So let's go over here now. Headphone wire, deflated tire. Headphone wire, deflated tire. And we walk through the muck and mire of life. So let me tell you about the prices in the Philippines, and then we'll go over to how you have to word and what you need to file a case against somebody else in the Philippines. We'll go to that next, as soon as I get through these comments. So the prices have gone up. I can't believe. Meat. Now, got to be grateful that the price of pork 3 years ago, 4 years ago, before the lockdown, so 2019, pork was 275 pesos per kilo. At some point during the lockdown, it went up to 285. At some point after the lockdown, it went up to 300. So in 3 years, the price of pork went up 25 pesos per kilo, or 50 cents per kilo. That's it. It didn't go up in 3 years. But 2 weeks ago, it jumped up to 330. So it jumped up 30 pesos in one day, but it didn't jump up 30 pesos in 3 years. So we have to be grateful here that the price of pork has remained very low and reasonable. But most other foods went up. Like, I don't eat popcorn and I don't eat peanuts at all. I don't buy them. I used to, but I would go through kilos of roasted peanuts. Daisy and I, my ex-girlfriend, would go through a kilo of roasted peanuts a week or more, maybe more, many times more. We'd have popcorn every night. So roasted peanuts, when I bought peanuts, were 70 cents a kilo 4 years ago. I looked at peanuts just by accident the other day, and now they're 150. So they doubled in price. Doubled. I don't know how or why they did. They doubled. Peanuts doubled. The price of popping corn also doubled in price. The price of cabbage, relatively still good, but the price of cabbage was 50 pesos per kilo 4 years ago, and now it's 80. So it went up 40% in 3 years. It's a lot. It's a big difference. The price of garlic was always 100 pesos. I don't know when it changed to 150, but it did. Now it's always 150 for the last year. Because for a long time, I didn't buy garlic. Daisy would go shopping, and then after that, I didn't buy garlic for a long time, but now I buy it on a regular basis. So it went from 100 to 150 from 4 years ago. So it went up 30%, 33%. The price of food in the Philippines has gone up 30%. Olive oil, now I don't buy olive oil. I don't buy it. I did, but I don't anymore. Olive oil used to be, well, I think it was 1,250 pesos for a gallon. And now it's 1,250 pesos for 3 liters. 3 quarts or 3 liters. 3 liters. So it went up 25%. Coconut oil was 130 for a liter. 130 for a liter. Now it's 150 for 750 milligrams, 3/4 of a liter. So that went up 33 or 35% coconut oil. 35%. I'll show it to you, because that I have. And I will tell you what to buy in coconut oil and what not to buy. I only buy the pure virgin coconut oil. Nothing added. Nothing added. I don't buy anything added to the coconut oil. Now, I like to buy Minola coconut oil, Miniola, Minola, but they don't sell it anymore. They only sell this, Baguio. And this is a good oil too, but this oil, pure coconut oil, 750 milliliters, and it's 150 pesos. It used to be 130 pesos for 1,000 milliliters. So the last time I bought it was 2 years ago. I use this for my salads, and I use it for light-duty frying. I'm going to change. Maybe I'm going to lose you for a minute. I'm going to change back over to the internet. Okay, so the price of coconut oil, pure coconut oil. Now, you don't buy coconut oil mixed in with anything else, cottonseed oil or what they call ragweed oil. And it will tell you right here, pure coconut oil. So I buy, this time when I went, I bought 5 of these bags. So now I won't buy it again for another year or so. And now let's go over to let's go back to the comments for a moment. Let's see, if you said, let's see what we have here. If you said free, hello, Raycraft Max. If you said free, okay, let's go over here. Hold on a minute. I can't read that. Now, I want to go to my mail, and I'm going to tell you if you want to file a case. Barry, Jordan, here's what you need to do. Any case that you want to file. Now I'm going to go through how to file a case for slander or libel. In the Philippines, what you need in order for the case to be approved by a prosecutor. First thing you need to do is you're going to have to pay a lawyer about $1,000 to accept your case. It's called an acceptance fee of $1,000 US. Could be 800, could be 900, could be 1,000, but apparently in Cebu it's 1,000. After that, each time the lawyer appears in court, if the lawyer goes to court to file anything, it's about $75 per visit to the courtroom minimum. If they are close to the courtroom, that's about what it is. If they're far away, it could be more. It could be 100, could be 150. In order to file a case for video cyber libel, you have to have the person who cyber libeled you if you were cyber libel, you have to have that person's face in the video. If you don't have that person's face in the video, I'm going to tell you right now, probably the case won't go through. The prosecutor's going to want to see the case in the video. Take my word for that. Okay. You're going to have the person's face who's in the video, a screenshot of his channel page or her channel page with the URL of the channel page, and then a picture of the video on that person's page that committed the slander or libel. You're going to have several screenshots. One is the person's channel's page. One is the screenshot of the video on the person's channel's page with the date, the month, and the date and the time open on the side just as a reference so you know what day it is. Then you got to open up the video and have the video open with the URL at the top of the video. That's straight things. Then you have to go to the timestamp of the video where the person is slandering you. That's 4 things. With the auto chat on to show the words on the screen. That's 5 things. Or transcripts of the video. That's 6 things. And then the person has to slander or libel you within their face. Once it's in the video, you've established that that person has the video. But if the conversation goes on and on and on for 10 minutes, and then they commit libel or slander without directing it directly at you by name, it don't count. So even if you show all that stuff and cyber libel or slander in the video, they have to say your name. That I, Marie Antoinette, accuse you of drinking too much alcohol. And then they have to say your name. They can't just say, I, Marie Antoinette, accuse Joe of drinking too much alcohol. It has to be Joe DeVito or Joe Schmo. You can't just say Joe. So it has to be directed to you with the slander and lie. And if you don't have the URL of the channel and the video link and the person's face in the video and them directing the slight at you directly by name, and it has to be offensive, it has to hurt your reputation, you're not going to... The lawyer will review the case for $1,000, and the lawyer will say, we will give it to the prosecutor, but the prosecutor has to accept it. And even if the prosecutor accepts it, you still have to go to court for the judge to accept it as a case. It's not so easy. That's why I say that Barry does not have what he needs to make a case against his adversary. I don't think he has what he needs. And all of that stuff has to be screenshot the words in the video, the transcripts of the video, but if you highlight the transcripts of the video with the defamatory words, can't do that. I don't know why, but if you highlight, if you mark this sentence with a star, that this is the important, they won't look at it. The judge won't look at it. Now this is marked. You'll have to come back with an unmarked transcript, and then the lawyer will tell them what what line it is. You can't highlight it with a highlighter. You can't mark it with a star. Can't underline it. The laws here are not, they don't make any sense. But that's the law. So if you think it's that easy, so you have to remember what line it is, what page, and the video, on top of everything else, it has to be a video from the person who you think slandered you. It has to come from his channel, his URL, his page, and the video has to be the entire video, from the beginning of the video to the end of the video. Even if the most egregious part is 30 seconds and the video is 4 hours long, it has to be the whole video. That you have to put it on a thumb drive and give them the transcripts for all 4 hours, and then the lawyer gets to tell the judge what page to look at. It makes no sense at all. You would think you could highlight it or mark off line 52. You can't. The laws here are so messed up when it comes to how hard it is. They do this so the lawyers have something to do all day. They don't do it to expedite the cases in the court. They do it to make the case last several trips to the courtroom. Now, if the person changes their channel name, you can still prove it's their channel with the URL. But if the person removes their channel, deletes their channel, hides their channel, it becomes another complication. And that's how you have to file a case. Now, if you want this all in writing and you want to send me a Christmas jingle, I'll take care of that. But I'm not giving you all this information that took me better part of an hour and a half to write it down for free. It's for sale. But it's not something I care whether or not you want. But I will not publish this. And you also have to understand I'm not a lawyer, but this is a good frame of reference. But for an hour and a half of my time, I did this for myself. But if you want to send me some Christmas cheer, I'll send this to you as a perk. But other than that, I'm not giving my hard-earned experience away. Doctors don't give their advice for free. Lawyers don't give their advice for free. And my time has value. Whether or not you want to believe it makes no difference to me. Let's go back to the comments. Am I related to Danny DeVito? No, I'm not. I don't even like Danny DeVito. I never liked him. Some comics are funny and some are not. I don't find him funny at all. But thanks for stopping by. All right, I'm done. The boxing kangaroo. Well, I saw you last week here too. Thank you for stopping by. I'm done talking. I've been talking now for about, I don't know, quite a long time, actually. 3 hours and 18 minutes. I'm being permy, which of course means take care always. From the Philippines, baby. Bye-bye for now. Thanks for stopping by. I'll put, I'll probably do another show before Christmas, but I really don't have much to talk about between now and Christmas. I could talk about everything I learned in the Philippines after 10 years. Drop by to hit the like button. Thank you very much, Boxing Kangaroo. Thank you. We should be up to like over 30 likes now. I think it is. So well over 30 likes. 38, 33. Thank you. All right. I'll probably do a show about what I've learned in 10 years in the Philippines, about living here and living with the people here. It's really hard to live here. It's a big change coming from where I lived in the Florida Keys and where I lived in New York. It's a big change. It's such a drastic change. Somebody could come from the Midwest, from Montana, where they have snow, but there's really not. Well, Michigan, where I lived, it's a beautiful place, but there's not much to do there. There's a lot here to do. In Michigan, there's hunting, fishing, kayaking, airplane flying, but they don't have 1,000 museums like they have in New York and Florida. They don't have intercoastal waterways with boats, billion-dollar yachts that you'll see go past when you're out on the ocean. They don't have any of that here. It's a different life here, but I'll talk about that another day. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for the thumbs up. I'm Ping Permy, which of course means take care always. From the Philippines, baby. Bye-bye for now.